that we all expected to see your name on the cabinet. What happened?
You know, we are 50 million Kenyans.
Yes.
And putting into consideration that those who voted for UDA and Kenya Kwanza, they were 50 plus 1. So 49%, they are outside there, they did not vote for, assuming did not vote for UDA. And that means to accommodate everybody who went to vote for UDA will qualify to have a CS position.
Right.
That means we need over 25 million positions. Or for that matter, even if you take the number that voted, 7.2 something million people, you need those number of CSs. There are those who work for others to benefit.
Right.
There are those who love this country so much and that they don't consider the contribution they make or now it can be paid or repaid back or compensated.
You fall in that category?
But they say as leaders, we work for others to live well. I'm one of those who work and make others live well.
It's amazing.
And that's why I'm not worried. I never demanded, but I want to assure you one thing. I'll be in the leadership as I have been before, playing a role that will keep on uniting Kenyans and make Kenyans benefit in the best way possible.
And plus they would say the government is pretty big. If given the position or if you were considered, would you have taken that gladly?
Well, if I was given, it depends on which position I should take. So I will have to consider about it. Now I don't want to speak blindly. That I would not have, because I'm getting something.
All right,
very
without
soon.
doubt.
I'm getting something.
We're looking forward to that.
But I'm getting something that will make me in a position where I'll play football as a distributor, as player number 6.
Nice.
Who passes balls, corner, side, forward, backwards. That's the role.
Services the striker
That
for us to score a goal.
Yes.
Amazing. We're still on that matter of the cabinet. You have been a loyal, and the president, his deputy as well. They speak of the fact that they value friendship and loyalty. We have been seeing, a lot of loyalty rewarding as pertaining to the formations that they have had so far. There are others who came into the picture, way later. After you and many others have really worked already towards making sure that UDA is where it is that it is, and most importantly then the coming in of Kenya Kwanza. Were you consulted, because the president says that he consulted extensively as to the people who he picked for the cabinet? Were you consulted, and especially looking at Ukambani region, which then would interest you?
I want to say President Ruto applied and practiced wide consultation on the people he was appointing. One, there was consideration of gender, which had to be agreed upon. Number 2, there was serious consideration of regional balancing, which was to be considered. And number 3, there was also the issue of making Kenyans feel that all corners of this country has been represented. So I can say confidently here that that consideration was to prove that. You can see a region like where I come from. We did a little bit of improvement, just a little bit of improvement, because we got 25% of the total votes that were casted in Ukambani. And with that, we ended up getting 2 CSs. That was a serious consideration that was done by the president through that serious consultation.
In this formation, we speak of 2 positions going to the Ukambani region, and one of the key figures here, then Honorable Alfred Mutua, former Machakos governor, and now nominated for that position of Foreign Affairs. You are opposed to his coming, or the coming of the party to the United Democratic Alliance, and now the Kenya Kwanza formation initially. What informed that? And so
you
far,
know, my differences with Muthama must be understood by Kenyans. It was not personal, first of all. It was not a matter of applying hatred between myself and Mutua. It was seriously considered and based on the services that he did not give to Machakos people for 10 years. The first 5 years I was a senator, I know the mistakes he made. That's why we did not get to agree to work together. When I left 2017, he continued making the same mistakes. So what I said is, the more I understand you, we cannot get into the same platform and do politics together, because I will have no language to convince people that you have changed and you are a different person. But now we are past that, and the president has appointed him as his minister, not my minister. Are we together? Mutua is the minister of President Ruto.
But overall, a minister for the people of Kenya,
I'm coming to that. And then on top of that, he's the minister of the people of Kenya. He represents Kenya in international matters. So there is nothing now to ask him. He may continue with that docket and see how he will perform. Maybe he will be better in that one than being the governor, where you needed to be an administrator and a manager. And maybe his qualification does not give him the credibility and the position to be a good administrator and a good manager. Do you know, we are in a country that applies democracy. Democracy comes with it, with public administration. Public administration. And when you talk about public administration and the management, you talk about managing people's resources, people's lives, and giving them what they deserve from the position you are sitting on. Being a minister is a different issue. You are just an administrator.
If the president called you and asked you, Honorable Johnson Muthama, do you think picking Alfred Mutua for this position would be a good bet? What would you have said?
For that one, I'll tell him, Mr. President, son, you have your choice to make. And I cannot be in charge of being able to define all Kenyans the way they are and who qualifies to be in your cabinet.
But which way you've advised the president on several occasions, and especially in capacity as chairperson for UDA.
That's not an advice. That's a perfect advice. Yes, you can come to me and ask me.
You don't necessarily have to say no.
Can I sell this laptop of mine?
That's true.
And then I'll tell you, hey, Linda, if you want to sell this laptop, well, it depends on the work you have been doing with it, but it's yours.
I guess that answers my question, Mheshimiwa. So when we speak about the United Democratic Alliance, before we come to your political plans and all that, just what is the position of this very powerful party today under the Kenya Kwanza umbrella?
You know, we all came from different political parties.
Yes.
Like if you talk about Senator Muthama here and the chairman of UDA, I've been to more than six political parties, starting with KANU. If you walk into my office here now, you find my life membership of KANU, signed by late President Moi. With the experience I've traveled through, the experience that the party leader of UDA has gone through, moving from KANU, going to ODM, going to UDM, going to URP, going to Jubilee, you can see that experience.
There's not a single point you've been with Wiper?
We knew, no.
Not a single time.
No.
Yes.
We knew what caused the problems within the parties we came from. And one of them was tribalism.
Right.
Whereby, like the party you just mentioned the name, I cannot mention that name.
Okay.
No. If you go, you find the party leader comes from the same community as the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, and so on.
But there's Farah Mali been there.
And so on.
All right.
You cannot have 20 officials and have 3
that are
outside your community.
Okay.
And you say the party carries the face of
but hugely that has been the face of our parties today. And I mean, sometimes you speak of UDA as
that's why you asked me why UDA is popular.
All right.
And is strong. Is because we saw that. And we say, here we are coming together, Kenyans of great minds, great thinking. Do away with tribalism, do away with this is mine and this is not mine, this is my person and this is not my person, and together come up with a party that will be owned by Kenyans.
Deep down, you have the conviction that UDA has got nothing to have, to do with a huge face of the Kalenjin community.
No, not at all, not at all. Other than the party leader, the rest of the officials of the party currently, they come from different corners of this country and different communities. And another secret is before, and this is the mistake we have seen that was made before by other political parties. The issue is that if you look at the other parties, the leadership is on the top. It's with the chairman, secretary general, party leader. Those are the people who can and decide about party matters. If you go to the mashinani, the grassroots, you don't feel the party there.
Yeah.
The secret of our party is we build a chain command up to the top, from the grassroots to the top.
Is balanced.
And we brought the leadership now from the top to the grassroots, where we handed over to Wananchi. And they took the party and they haunt it. And we are yet to prove who we are when it comes to leadership with the party.
You speak
Sooner or later, we are going to have our elections. And I want to assure you today, you will go into a village and you will see a nice lady standing and saying, mimi ndio mwenyekiti wa chama cha UDA katika kijiji changu kile ambacho ninatoka. Utaona mwanaume anasema na mimi ndio naibu wa mwenyekiti.
Or better yet, Kenya Kwanza. And I'll still ask this question: what is the position of UDA in Kenya Kwanza, as you also get to answer whether there are plans to merge and fold the other parties that are under Kenya Kwanza into one party? And what would be the name of this party? If you speak so highly about the United Democratic Alliance, it clearly tells me that you're not about to fold this one.
As far as we are concerned in the UDA party, and especially the leadership, one, we do not want to coerce anybody to dissolve his party or her political party.
Okay.
What we are saying is that we came into a coalition with friendly parties who were sympathetic to us, and we were sympathetic to them. We formed a coalition. The coalition went to the elections and won the elections. The coalition is still there, intact. But what we are saying is this: God willing, come 2027, we want to go to these elections of 2027 as a political party.
Yes.
Not one united, no, as a political party known as UDA. Okay. So our election will be about the party now. And that is why we are conducting the elections up to the grassroots, to make sure that we have recruited now people from the grassroots.
And therefore you're open to have these other parties that are under Kenya Kwanza.
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So once that is done, anybody who feels that he or she wants to form their own party and join UDA, the person is willing, the doors are open for that person to do that, or that party to do that. But us, we don't want to coerce, we don't want to push, we don't want to force anybody to do that. Kenya is the democratic country. If we get to 2027 and we realize we cannot win alone, there will be options of again forming maybe another coalition. Those coalition does not last. Right. You remember we had Code Coalition, it died before 2017. Then we had NASA. NASA died before 2022. So and you believed in Kenya Kwanza, which is not registered totally, is it? It's just registered with the register of political parties as a coalition name. But it's not a political party.
All right.
Yes.
All right. And so in this case, then I'm trying to imagine, or perhaps asking this: what are the chances that this marriage of Kenya Kwanza then will hold for the next 5 years if you have already started setting up your plans as UDA, as the United Democratic Alliance? And we cannot wish away the fact that this win was guaranteed by the coming together of these other parties.
But it's not the first time for us to try and solidify the leadership of UDA. We have been there, we continue doing the same. And also we are telling our coalition partners to do the same.
Right. Solidify their positions.
Yes,
and their parties.
we are not weakening them. We are not working on ways or means on how to weaken them. We are telling them best of luck.
Can you confirm as the chair that all this talk of a possible merger is just but stories?
Not actually not perception. No. Like Kuria.
Kuria has folded his?
And they announced
Machakos.
Yes, Machakos said in another, he said I think 14 or 17 days, I'm folding this party, solving it, and joining and merging with UDA. It happened.
But just what game was Kuria playing? Because initially he was pro-UDA, and then he decided that perhaps he needs to set up an outfit. And then all of a sudden he's joining them.
Linda, do you know what is democracy? That is where
democracy.
That's where democracy comes in. And it should not be questioned, neither criticized for making that choice. Because you are applying and practicing the democracy that is allowed by the Constitution. So Kuria was right to do what he did.
Right.
Yes, now he was also right to come and join us and move with us.
And so would it be having the same face as what Jubilee was after the merger in the event that they decide to fold to join? Well, or what it is that we have right now as Kuria folds to join?
You know, I don't want to discuss about Jubilee because one, they are not our partner.
Yes.
They are not in our coalition.
But you know, out of experience, Mheshimiwa, you need to make sure that you have your house in order. Yes. Jubilee might not be there, but the faces that were in Jubilee are under your party. But
I just started by telling you, I have been to more than 6 political parties.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough, Mheshimiwa.
Even if you look at Kina Mudavadi, they all came from different political parties.
Right.
Mudavadi, his father was in Kanu. He went to Kanu, left Kanu, ODM, he came, UDF now, ANC. Now you see where we are.
Yeah.
We are all from different political. Nobody's in Tanzania.
In Tanzania.
Yes.
And with the democratic gains that we have made, these ones of forming of coalitions and everything, what are the chances that it will hold?
As I said, first of all, strengthen UDA as much as possible.
Yeah.
Number 2, go to the elections as UDA. Number 3, the parties.
Yeah.
That door is open, and we are not worried about that. But first and foremost is UDA to be able to marshal the numbers and go to the elections as a political party.
Just what is the government of the day? UDA, Kenya Kwanza? What?
The government of the day is of UDA in coalition. We after the elections.
Yes.
We accommodated them. We are together with them. Do you know there's a big confusion even in Parliament today?
The biggest of them all as to who is the majority and who's the minority.
Not only that. Not only that. Because Azimio, they want to present before the speaker that organization known as Azimio as a political party. The speaker's list does not have any sponsors candidate under Azimio political party. Neither a certificate was issued under Azimio coalition. Neither Kenya Kwanza. So when you go to Parliament today, you find the battle is between 2 political parties. That is UDA and ODM. Now the others, they are voting as friends of these 2. In this very case, I want us to shift gears a bit and speak about Ukambani politics, Machakos in particular, which you are hugely interested in. And as we speak of this, in the Kenya Kwanza government or in the UDA plus friends government, what is in there
for the Ukambani region aside from the 2 cabinet posts?
Are you
or is it,
trying to
what
ask
is it there for Kenya?
What else is expected?
All right.
Is that your
some
question?
Some more, because you see, when you go back home, your people will tell you, have you negotiated for us? What are you bringing back home? Are you going to come with the president to this other side? What form of lobbying is being done to make sure that, Ukambani then does not have these problems of water, does not have these problems of, speed starvation, and all this that will be priority.
Linda,
yes,
it will be a big mistake to particularize Ukambani as the only place in Kenya where it lacks water.
Mm-hmm. That is just an example.
Like a representative of Kenyans, where I want to see, in addition to what President Ruto did now, mm-hmm, by forming ministries that have been occupied by 22 ministers, mm-hmm, or cabinet secretaries. Mm-hmm. Next round of appointment is principal secretaries. Yeah. They are deputies, CSs, mm-hmm, if Parliament will pass it and make it constitutional, to have CSs, ambassadorial positions, no other positions. Mm-hmm. It will be unfair and unwise for me now to sit and start saying, I'm looking at this. Mm-hmm. The president is yet even to swear in the ministers.
That's true.
We haven't taken over. We haven't taken over and saying now we have the government in our hands. Yeah. You saw the other day President Ruto sat in the cabinet with the outgoing ministers, mm-hmm, of the previous administration. Mm-hmm. That's not the way it should be done. But since he's a Kenyan, he's mature, and he believes in the ones he found in the office, and they are not his enemies. Because they came here, they were appointed through constitutional arrangements. Mm-hmm. Nothing was done outside the constitution. He allowed and accepted to work with them, while now he's taking time to form his government. Mm-hmm. So Kambas, wherever they are, they must be assured that they have a president who cares about this country. Mm-hmm. How many votes did we get from Lowland, mm-hmm, if I may ask you? Mm-hmm. 0, almost 0. But did the president give up a ministerial slot there?
Yes.
The answer is yes. So he has gathered and taken care of all corners of this country. So there is nothing, absolutely nothing special with a certain group of people from coming from a certain region. To me, as the chairman of UDA and one of those who talks to the president of the Republic of Kenya, I'm telling him, serve Kenyans as Kenyans.
That is exactly what you would tell the people of Ukambani region if you were to visit there today.
I would tell them, look, when the president sat down to distribute cabinet's, yeah, positions, mm-hmm, he gave you 2. Are you considered or you are not?
You are.
We are. Mm-hmm. I'll tell them, look at all corners of this country. You have touched every region. Mm-hmm. So now, wait, because he is there for Kenyans. He is there to lead Kenyans. When he starts other appointments, you will also be considered in government. That is what I will tell them.
Would you say that Kenyans are ripe and mature enough to take that and look at it on positive lenses and know that we have grown beyond the politics of region and tribe?
I want to say there is beginning of everything. Linda, there is beginning of everything. You know, no election has ever held in Kenya before and people did not kill one another.
Unfortunately.
Did it happen this time? No. Why? There is beginning of everything. Yeah. So if you told somebody in 1992 or 97 or 202 or 207 that there will be an election in Kenya and people will never die, they will tell you no. Not with the kind of tribal arrangements we have in this country. Mm-hmm. But forever, first time, you guys, you voted as Kenyans and went back home and you waited for the results. When Raila came out and said, I'm challenging the results because I'm not satisfied, do you know what his supporters told him? Hey, Baba, We gave you what you asked from us. We gave you the votes. Go and see Chebukati, and that's Chebukati.
Was it not the vice versa? I thought they said it's them that told the supporters, relax. Please do not go to the streets.
No. They said no. Go to Chebukati, and that's Chebukati. Where are my votes? And if there is a fight and demonstration, do it with Chebukati. So he went to Chebukati. Chebukati told him, hey, excuse me, I've made my announcement. If you are not satisfied, go to Kome and his team and our team.
Which he
so
did.
he walked before Kome. The only thing he could say is that I accept the ruling, but I don't agree with it. So what I'm saying is, if you have been having any doubts of Kenyans changing their approach of politics in this country, it has started with UDA, because we are open in our minds to unite this country. We don't want to get into an aeroplane and ask, where are you, Linda so-and-so?
Yeah.
We only want somebody to say, hi, my name is Linda, my name is Muthama. Where do you come from, this country, part of this country? Or I come from Central, or I come from Coast. Coast which side? Southern, Northern, Kilifi, yes. Lamu, yes. Tana River, yes. Or I come from Musambweni, I come from Kwale. This is the language we want to hear. And if you look at now the arrangements that we have today, even after these appointments, do you really hear huyo ni Mluya, huyo ni Mkamba, huyo ni Mjaluo?
Cabinet that has been.
Kenyans are quiet, and they have accepted that. So, answering your question, we are putting Kenyans into where they should be by being Kenyans, united people of one united country.
The economy and all that. You see, while we pride in our regions, while we pride in the fact that we are Kenyans, we want to pride, knowing very well that tomorrow I'll wake up to food, tomorrow I'll wake up to a good job, tomorrow I'll wake up to a good business, tomorrow I'll wake up to a nation that is a safe space for me.
There is an addition to that. If you want to cancel them and tell them, are you saying that Central is more developed than let's say, than Coast?
Is it not?
You tell that person, go and work in Central. You don't need a passport. Why should someone from Ukambani complain that Coast is more developed than Ukambani?
What will that do?
Why can't that person go to...
What will that do to devolution?
Yeah, why can't that person go to that coastal area where there is more development and live there and work there?
And that, what will that do to devolution?
You don't need a work permit to work in Kwale. You don't need a passport to go to Central. You don't need a passport to go to Machakos or to go to Kisumu. Settle wherever you want. Why should someone come and start inciting you and poisoning your mind by telling you, oh, mimi nasikia Kajiado, they are ahead of us. Go to Kajiado. That's part of Kenya. You are
some
Kenyan.
Some of these things, Mheshimiwa, are factual, that you know, and the facts are as day and night. That even from an area like you say, I am leaving Siaya and I'm getting to this region that is more or less like Western region, you see the difference clearly. And your government says that they would need to come to a space or to bring Kenyans to a space where we all enjoy this aspect of development. Perhaps that's the reason why they then introduced a devolution. So once again, my question, in all this, what will it do to devolution?
You know, let me say this, Linda, and allow me to say this. There has been serious allegations that because the first president was a Kikuyu, Kikuyu land is more developed than any other part of this country.
Yes.
Because the third president was a Kikuyu, the same has happened. The fourth president was a Kikuyu, the same has happened. Yesterday I went to where Kashagwa comes from, the current deputy president. Listen to me.
Nearly.
The local MP stood to offer his condolences. And the message he told the president is that since independence, listen, the allegations of Kikuyu land is more developed than other areas because we had 3 presidents coming from there. This local MP, first of all, he says he comes from a family where his parents are just his single mother. One. Number two, he says we have never seen the country is in need of essential commodities. And it is not one corner, it is all allegations. The other day, you had politics people making noise. Oh, after Raila shook hands with Uhuru, all development projects were taken to Kisumu. Tell me which one. You go, you find the lures who were selling fish omena in one corner of in a kiosk. They are still there. And then someone stands and says all the development projects were given by Uhuru to Raila, they were taken to Luoland. Go there and see for yourself. The hospital is the same as the hospital in Machakos. The hospital in Kisumu, General Hospital, is the same hospital as Kiambu. The problems Kiambu patients are facing is what your patients are facing. Is what you find in Taita Taveta. Is what you find in Mombasa General Hospital. We need to think about this country now to improve services in this country.
And you're confident that with your government then, that Kenyans will have a chance to go through this process of change and development without undergoing a revolution?
When did you use this word? It has already started.
It has already
by
started.
Not shedding blood.
Okay.
One. Two, by having appointments and nobody's complaining. Three, you saw the president after being sworn in. He went to Central, I think he worshipped there one church, and the next trip was in Luoland, where he never received votes. And he went there and spent a whole day there. Change is coming.
Change is here.
Yes.
All right. Let me challenge that. The change is here.
Change
you say change is coming, and you're saying change is
here.
Yeah. One message for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, because he's an enigma, one person that we cannot wish away, and many of the leaders that would be otherwise looked at as the Raila orphans at this very point. In the next 5 years, they have no idea where to go. Formidable leaders for that very matter. Yet we're talking about the question of unity.
There is one thing Kenyans have never realized, and I want to enlighten them. I wanted somehow to take them through and tell them what they need to understand.
Right.
Raila has played a big role in this country in terms of politics. But what came out very clearly is all what he has been doing. He has been doing it to find a way of achieving his own fame, his own goals, not the goals of the country. He used that wide concept, the very wide one, of mobilizing Kenyans and telling Kenyans, I just want the best for you. I'm doing this because of you. But in his own mind, and what I came to realize, because I was one of his closest right-hand man, is that whatever he was doing, he was finding his way of getting to the top. That is why in 1997, he rejected Moi's result victory. And he went and issued a statement. While that was going on, he was to team up with Kibaki and reject in totality Moi's victory.
Right.
But the allegations, which I cannot prove, are that he was compromised because now he got what he wanted to achieve. Not the common goal of Kenyans, but he got what he wanted to have by being compromised. Yeah. He withdrew his objection. Then came 2002 and realized that he could not manage now to beat either Uhuru or whoever candidate was to be fielded from different. So together now, with his smartness, which he has managed to get to Kenyans through using, he brought Kenyans together and said Kibaki Tosha, having in mind actually he was laying his foundation now to come back to Kikuyu community who were totally objective about his ideas in leadership, to convince them I forgot looking at you with bad eyes at Kikuyus and said Kibaki Tosha, so I'm one of you. That happened. But immediately after 2002, he could not now move and work together with the same president. They parted ways. That's why we came out to end up by having the orange and the banana. The constitutional amendment
changes, yeah.
change. So with that, he lost again. And now from 2002, 2007, he went to oppose Kibaki. That relationship would not work. Again, looking at it, Kenyans come, I want the best for you. But when Kenyans are here, his praise, God help me to get there.
Get to the top of that.
That's my
so
idea.
That is not his main interest is not the people of Kenya.
No, not the people of Kenya.
Even with all the forms of liberations, including the constitution that we speak of today.
Fame for himself to get where he wanted to go.
That was his biggest
where he wanted to be. Now, that happens, God comes in and says no. So 2007, it went the way it went. He did not manage. Then now, came 2013. Again now, Kenyans together, all of us, things did not work out. Why? By the back of his mind, he's not telling these people the truth, and God knows this guy is not telling Kenyans the truth. So I will apply a barrier. 2017 the same. But all those occasions, they have never accepted one defeat. One. And they said, I have been defeated fairly. We all stood. I stood in Machakos. The results came out that I've lost. I accepted.
Yeah.
I did not even bother.
Purpose
even
to
my
challenge.
Supporters go to court just to do what? If something wrong went there, why did I not cause it to go wrong on my side? To help me?
You.
Yes. So the point is, despite the fact he have put that effort and put his life online to move with the Kenyans, his deep idea was not for Kenyans, was about himself. I'm sorry for my brother that he ended up the way he has ended up. But with a very big disappointment that he lost and he never accepted. Even now, he issued a statement and says, if it was not to the consideration of him being taken to ICC, he would have caused
trouble
in the country.
Our institutions, as we almost come to a close.
Well, tell me, what enigma of a person is this? Who will speak like that and say, if it was not the law that stops me from killing you, I would have killed you? How can a leader speak like that? We may quarrel and tell you, no, I cannot agree with you. Forget about it. But I cannot come in and put a condition that if it was not fearing going to jail, I would have done this to you. That means I cannot control myself. Actually, I'm being controlled by the law. And the law controls me before I approach the law to control me. It doesn't work out that way.
Well, interesting. And I ask this question again, our very own institutions. I'll not ask anything about corruption. I hope as a government you will have great ways of making sure that you address that. It's been the biggest impediment to us enjoying development. But then coming out from this electioneering period, we learn a lot of things in terms of growth of democracy. But we ask ourselves, do we have institutions that are formidable enough that in this process of Right Honorable Raila Odinga trying to look into his own interest, somewhere along the line we involved our institutions? Do you have confidence in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, in the judiciary, and generally the houses, or the executive, speak of the arms of government?
My friend, there is something called trust. Trust. You are here because you are trusted by your station. And when you left the office and said you are coming at Muthama's place, you don't need other supervisors to monitor you whether you are coming here or you are going somewhere else. There comes a point and a time where you say, for example, Raila is only one person. One. Can he change the perception of Kenyans that they act when it comes to corruption himself alone? Then says no. He will need to be there to say, please, let us not steal from the public. Please, let us not conduct corruption business. So there are those he is talking to who are supposed to implement. Linda, let me say this. As what we are asking is this. Corruption. Corruption. Day and night corruption. Day and night. Uhuru was the president. He kept on saying, I cannot hand over to a thief. Why did he not prosecute that thief? Instruments of power is with this man.
Yeah.
He says, this is a thief. Raila comes and says, Ruto is a thief. Why did they not prosecute him? What we are saying is to bring this into completely end and close it, is ask this. What is the terms of reference of the head of state is to form the government?
Yeah.
Ruto formed the government. Now we have the departments here which can do the work that you just asked.
Yeah.
Are they capable of doing it? The answer is yes. Now, let us say, ESCC, what are you doing?
Right.
How many people have you prosecuted? And if you are not prosecuting, why? Then go to them. DCI, ask DCI. DPP, ask the office of the DPP. Are you getting recommendation to order for the arrest and prosecution? Yes. What are you doing for?
And all these questions will be asked.
Yes, Linda, you have a team of 11 players. Real Madrid playing Barcelona. Real Madrid, they are scoring every minute. And Barcelona, they are standing. They are not even defending. And they want to come out and say, we need to find out where Real Madrid is scoring. They're scoring because they're not doing anything. So we want the judiciary to do its work. Wait. And I want one judge to come out and say, I was dealing with this corruption case number this. And I was called either by the president, the deputy president, or the chairman of UDA, and I was given instructions not to continue with that case. Mwambie atoke moja aseme namna hiyo. This is what we are waiting for.
Wow.
And what we are saying is we are not going to interfere. You see, for example, judiciary, Judicial Service Commission, has been given the mandate to interview judges and approve them. Listen to this. Approve them. Approve them. They said, like now you're interviewing me. You are being passed by your station. And they said you can sit down and conduct an interview with someone like Muthama. And when you are doing that now, we want to have somebody who's coming from outside there to come, hey, no, you're dealing with the wrong person. Get me another person then. Why did you allow this one to be sent by TV47 to me?
Yeah.
So what we are saying is, Mr. President, your business to form the government. Within that setup, you have the police in regular uniform and what we call DCI. Inside there, you have the judiciary. And that is why that judiciary, when they sat down and approved these names, Uhuru said no. These judges are corrupt. Is it the work of the president surely to say judge so and so and so is corrupt?
They have intelligence. So
we had them, they ambushed them in their courts. They went to Muchelule's court. Nothing was found. and still is a corrupt person. Why are they still in the office? They have never been arrested and charged with those corruption cases. Linda, you are mature. You like now you are grown up.
Yes.
For someone to come and say you went to Muthama and he bribed you, that person should be able to prove that beyond reasonable doubt.
And
give evidence, surely, because that allegation. Do you know, these judges, they have children. They have their wives. You go home and your husband is asking you, surely, my husband, have you been receiving bribes?
And we have not seen this translate to goodness at home.
And this has never translated or changed our lives in the family. Do you have another house where you bring what you earn, and there you take what you have? You know, it is so unfair that the organ, the body that is taxed by interviewing judges and passing them, have done their worst. And one person says, no, I'm being told you are criminals. You are corrupt, these judges. So what? Give us another. Judicial Service Commission is managed by Kenyans.
Right.
We must respect them. That's why I say there must be trust from somewhere. Right. We are starting with the trust with the president from the government. And I want to tell you, the judges, when they were giving the ruling of this election petition of president, the judges say they have been trying to be reached. Characters. I swear, seated here, none of UDA or Kenya Kwanza try to reach those people.
100%.
When the ruling was being read, we congregated
and sat down together to watch.
No, knelt down
to pray.
To pray. I swear, we prayed individually until the time Koome started reading point by point. And when we finished, Ruto's wife, Rachel, First Lady, prayed. The second prayer came from Dorcas Kashagwa, the second lady. And we changliered, we celebrated. None of us, it is Azimio and the system that tried to reach the judges to try and change the election. Chebukati cannot say either one of us, either through his dreams or in senses, that he saw a shadow of Kenya Kwanza or UDA representative asking them to change the results.
Well,
we saw even the deputy commander of the army, somebody by the name of Ngola, Captain Ongolo, Major Ngolo, Brigadier, tried to go. Went to Jebukati and told him this is what the government wants. We are speaking, so what?
So you're saying this is purely the work of God. And Kenyans are a little bit worried. There are others who are a little bit worried that we are overdoing religion. Is that okay?
And you
can you tell them that really it's not going to be that?
No, God loves this country.
And so we should just leave it at that.
Linda, God loves this country.
Okay.
That is why we are coming out to be in the world map when it comes to Africa, and picking the best country with democracy, respect, and what. You saw what Nani was saying, Museveni's son, through his tweet.
Yes.
That he actually asked Uhuru to go for the third time. It cannot happen in Kenya. It cannot happen in Uganda, but not in Kenya. Kenyans, we are mature. We are God-fearing people. We understand the Constitution. We are educated. We allow, democracy to take place.
All right. Mheshimiwa, time is not on our side, but not before you tell us, we're not going, before you tell us your political plans as an individual. It's just UDA.
Linda, I
Yes.
tell you, leaders, they only think and dream about people's needs and people's problems. True leaders like Nelson Mandela, true leaders like Jomo Kenyatta, and those they went to jail together, true leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, they don't see their tomorrow in politics. They don't see what they want to achieve. These things, they find them along the way.
But how will they achieve for the people if they cannot see tomorrow, if they cannot have a vision of at least
what you see tomorrow, not about yourself.
It's about the people.
It's about the people.
Okay.
You don't see that tomorrow based on what you need to have. But you see, like me, I see the tomorrow of a united Kenya, not a united Muthama and his wife and children. No. That one will be discussed in my house. But when it comes to leadership, I see a country that can sufficiently satisfy itself with food.
Yeah.
I want to see a country where education is affordable by all the children in this country. I want to see a country where we will have less criminal activities than what we are having today. So when my mind is set on that, I ask myself, how can we put a government that can provide and give Kenyans those essential things?
Thank you, sir.
And when it comes to that, is now when I come in and say,
now where can I position myself?
Only to work.
Okay.
To work, to create trust. To create trust, not to be everywhere. Trust others can do what I can get there and do, because I'm not Kenyan. I can even advise. Is that not an important role?
It is a great role. Asante sana for speaking to us, and we're looking forward to have more and more of this as we put you to account to the great words that you've given us this day. Asante sana once again. Nice session and a moment of speaking to the chairperson of the United Democratic Alliance, UDA, right here in the country, indeed the party that sits in government today. And therefore, we're looking forward to nothing short of what you have promised the people of Kenya.
Definitely.
Asante sana
for
watching. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.